I still think you should let me talk to Biff.
Just leave him alone. I can understand how he feels.
It's for his good as much as yours. The state he's in is liable to do something we'll all regret.
Yeah, well, I'm going for a long ride. Forget about the whole thing.
Kimmy, you sure there's nothing you haven't told me about the accident?
Don't you trust me?
Yeah, of course I do. But Biff isn't the only one asking questions.
Morning.
Morning.
I need to talk to you both about Linda Fowler's death.
I was just going out. Will this take long?
I think it might. You see, the post-mortem shows that Mrs. Fowler couldn't have been driving the car. Somebody moved her into the driving seat. It might be easier if we continue this discussion inside.
I'm going to work. Don't get into any bother while I'm gone.
I can look after myself.
The way things are, you'll have to. But if a social worker turns up, don't let on you've been left on your own all day.
What do I tell her?
You'll think of something.
Aren't you going to leave me any money?
I'm a bit short now.
There's not much grub in here either.
Oh, I'm getting some money today so we can stock up. Meanwhile, you have to manage best you can. Look, I know things aren't easy right now, but, well, we've just got to pull together. Otherwise, they're not going to let you stay with me.
They're going to put you away again.
Not if we keep one jump ahead. I know I can rely on you. You do want to stay with me, don't you, Andy?
Of course I do, Dad.
Then no one can stop us. We're a team, you and me. Be lucky, son.
And you, Dad.
How can you be so sure she wasn't alone in the car?
The pathologist was able to define which injuries were caused by the initial impact, and they're consistent with Mrs. Fowler having been on the passenger side.
Isn't science wonderful?
There's also bruising, which suggests that Mrs. Fowler had been dragged into the driver's seat after the accident.
So if the driver had gone for help instead of running away...
Who knows? Mrs. Fowler could still be alive now.
Does that make it murder?
I doubt that's the charge the DPP would bring, but in my book we're dealing with a killer. And I want him put away for a very long time.
Naturally, we'll do anything we can to help.
I'm glad to hear it, sir. When Mr. Fowler went after his wife, he was under the impression that Lord Oakwell was in the car with her. They did leave together. I've been all over the witness statements, and only 2 people seem to recall Lord Oakwell still being at home farm at the time of the accident. His wife and you, Mrs. Tate.
I was very busy at the party looking after our guests. I suppose I might have been mistaken.
I suggest you think very carefully about what happened that night. And remembering the penalties for giving false evidence, let us know if you want to alter your statement.
Why didn't you go into Hockham with your mum?
That'd be boring. I'd rather stay here.
Well, I've got work to do, so I won't be able to play with you.
It's okay. I'm going to try to get to level 5.
Well, you're not sitting in front of that game all day. Mum wants to get you some new shoes later. I mean, you could always spend the morning helping me on the farm.
That'd be even more boring than going shopping.
Well, you never used to think so.
People change. Like you and Mum. You never used to row all the time.
Oh, hi, Andy. Wasn't expecting you. Something wrong?
No. Dad's got a bit of foot today. He said that Robert could come over, if that's all right with you.
Well, I don't know. He seems to be busy on his computer.
I'd rather go with Andy.
Well, I guess anything's more fun than staying here with me.
Press are going to love this.
That's an understatement.
Depraved aristocrat leaves girl to die to save his own skin.
And home farm mentioned on every page. Just when we needed some good publicity, we're right back in the dirt.
All because our chairman was dazzled by the nobility.
We warned you not to go into partnership with him, but you wouldn't listen.
OK, you've both made your point. It's a pity you can't be as concerned about poor Linda as you are about the bad publicity.
Poor Linda. Poor Linda's dead. We're the ones who have to cope with the consequences, and before you start getting sanctimonious, I didn't notice you being too concerned about her at the party. You just seemed to go out of your way to shove her in Alex's direction.
I never knew anything like this would happen.
Look, there's no point in blaming each other. What's important is to minimise the damage to the business.
What's important is seeing Alex pay for what he's done.
I'm sure the police are quite capable of dealing with that.
Not without some help. I'm going to Oakwell Hall.
Bad idea. The less contact there is between us and the Oakwells, the easier it will be to distance ourselves from them when the press starts sniffing around.
Well, you worry about the press if you want to. I just want to see that slug nailed.
I'm afraid my husband isn't here at the moment. He was called away on urgent business last night.
Well, can you tell me where we can contact him? It's most important that we speak to him as soon as possible.
He left in rather a hurry. He didn't leave any contact address or phone number.
I hope you understand the seriousness of this situation, Lady Oakwell. It's quite possible that your husband will be facing charges over Linda Fowler's death.
Then naturally I'll do anything I can to cooperate.
Good. I'm sure you're aware there are penalties for those aiding and abetting someone to avoid justice.
I've told you I intend to cooperate with your investigation. If you don't believe me, you're welcome to search the house. No? Goodbye.
Must be quiet at home. What was Zack in Ireland?
Between Butchie's belching and Marlon's flatulence, it's never quiet at our house.
We should never set out now.
It's good to see you at least getting out, though, Ned. I mean, we've been worried about you, you know.
That's what I told him. Life has to go on somehow.
It ain't ever going to be the same, though, Jack. No point pretending different.
At least you know all your friends are here for you. If you need any help with the funeral.
I know you mean well, Jack, but Jan's dealing with it. Does it good to have something to occupy her mind, otherwise she just sits and broods.
Sometimes it's kindest just to leave people alone for a while, though. I just don't feel real coming in here.
Yeah, it's like everyone's looking at us. No offence, Jack, but I think we should go home. Some other time, eh?
Yep.
Guess it wasn't such a good idea after all.
Scotch, please, Mandy. Make it a double.
Sounds like you're having a bad day too, eh?
I've known better.
So I guess it's the wrong time to ask you about loan and all, eh?
Definitely.
Well, I don't want to push it, but we've got to move quick on this. Al's had another offer. If he sells to Gerald Taylor, I'm out of a job.
Terry, that's your problem. I've got enough troubles on my own just now.
I think it sounds really exciting, Alan. You're a brave man.
Brave? Well, what do you think? It might be risky, then?
Well, the only thing you're risking is missing out on the dull, boring routine the rest of us are stuck with.
Well, I do need a clean bill of health, you know, for the insurance.
Don't worry. I'll give you a full examination.
Well, I want you to be completely honest with me. I am a bit overweight, and you could well be concerned at a chap of my age taking on such a strenuous schedule.
Nonsense. It'll be a real tonic for you.
Oh. Good.
You'd be surprised at the number of people I get in here wanting me to find something wrong with them. And I know all they're after is a sick note.
Disgraceful.
So where is he?
I've no idea.
I find that very hard to believe.
Yes, so do the police.
They know exactly what happened. When they catch up with him, he's finished.
He's finished now, as far as I'm concerned. I'll be starting divorce proceedings after a discreet interval of grief and shock.
Then why did you let me lie for him?
Don't be naive, Kim. It's not your style. If he'd been taken into custody after the party, it would have been most inconvenient. We needed a little time to make arrangements, that's all.
You mean you're going to let him get away with it?
Oh, he'll have lost everything. Money, power, position. Surely that's punishment enough.
Not for what he did. I want to see him rot in prison.
Well, that's your problem, Kim. You let your heart rule your head.
No one could accuse you of that.
It's lucky one of us is thinking clearly. If this case ever came to court, it might highlight a few things we'd both rather remained hidden.
That won't stop me going to the police.
It's too late, Kim. You can't help anyone now. Least of all you.
Meaning?
I've no wish to fight you, but I'm ready if I have to. If you get in my way, you'll regret it.
Don't your dad mind you building fires? Of course not. Gas cylinder ran out days back. It's the only way we can cook. I thought we were making his lunch. He can't, he's at work. But you told my dad I had to, or he'd have never have let you come. You're not worried, are you? Well, it's not. It's not much fun at home anyway these days. Mum and Dad are always fighting. Then you're best off out of it. Me and you can have some great times. They'll go spare if they find out. They won't, as long as you don't tell anybody. You won't sprag on me, will you? Of course not. Because if you did, they'd put my dad back into jail. And they'd put me in a home somewhere. So you've got to swear, whatever happens, that me and you will stick together. We'll be like blood brothers. I swear. I know you won't let me down. We're going to make a great team.
I'm sorry you've had a wasted journey.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. At least it showed me exactly what I'm dealing with. You disgust me.
I've done what I had to. From what I've heard of your history, you've been guilty of that many times.
Don't pretend we're alike. We've got absolutely nothing in common.
Well, certainly not in terms of background, but I pride myself on not being a snob, and we've got to find some way of working together.
What are you talking about?
The stud farm. Alex realised he could only be a sleeping partner from now on, so he persuaded me to look after his share.
Forget it. I'm not working with you.
You have no choice. He signed an agreement before he left. It's all quite legal. Pleasant journey.
Didn't waste much time, did you? Before you started meddling in the stud business?
Well, that's nothing to do with the stud business. It's a horse I was looking at for my private use.
Really?
He wasn't up to scratch, so I'm sending him back.
Well, maybe I should take a look at it.
That won't be necessary.
I insist. If we're going to be such good friends, I'm sure you'll value my opinion.
Leave it, Kim.
Now, what is it? Fine young stallion? Oh, no. It's a gelding. And a rather pathetic specimen at that. You pathetic little creep.
Shame you didn't realise that before you started an affair with him. He's told me all about it, including the way you propositioned him the day we got back from our honeymoon.
What? It's a lie. He asked me to become his mistress. I turned him down.
Wrong. I've got a signed statement. It might come in useful in the divorce.
Tell her the truth.
I'm sorry, Kim. I can't face going to prison. Can you imagine what they do to me?
We're wasting time. There'll be a warrant issued for Alex's arrest in a few hours.
How do you know that?
My father has friends in the right places. It would be better if Alex was out of the country before the police come back.
Not for me. I intend to tell them exactly where to find him.
If it gets to court, Alex's defence will be forced to show your involvement. You can't win, Kim. Now I suggest we hold any further discussion in the house. Alex has a plane to catch.
Is that it? There aren't any other tests you ought to be taking?
I don't think so.
Well, I just wanted to put Jo's mind at rest. I know how disappointed she'd be if I had to give it up through ill health.
Well, as you suspected, you are a bit overweight and not quite as fit as you should be.
So it's better to face the truth now.
But that's probably the sedentary life you lead.
Yes, I mean, I wheeze if I have to run upstairs.
No doubt she'll make sure you do a lot more exercise when you're over there.
You mean I'm fit to travel?
That's what I'm putting in my report.
No worries at all?
Just one, but I won't bother you with that.
No, I think you should. I promised Jo that we'd be really thorough.
I notice you don't have Graceland on your itinerary.
What?
My niece is a big Elvis Presley fan, and I was hoping you might bring her back some souvenirs.
This is the life, innit? I bet you're glad you came. Could have done with a bit more grub. The next time you come over, you'll have to sneak some. Don't let your mum and dad see you.
You should have been back. Your mum's been waiting for you.
Sorry, didn't see the time.
I'm surprised at your dad lighting a fire so close to the caravan. Doesn't he know it's dangerous? Billy!
He isn't in.
You mean he's left you here on your own?
Not for long. He had to go and do some shopping.
Is that true?
Of course it is. Should we go get my shoes now?
Well, what about Andy?
Don't worry about me. He'll be back soon.
You sure about that? Well, I think we'll wait and see him.
There's no need. I'll be all right. I'm not a baby.
Yeah, we know that, Andy. But your dad promised the social worker he'd look after you properly.
He does.
I don't think Carmel would see it that way if she found you here on your own.
Yeah, so we'll just wait till he gets back and talk to him about it.
Between the witness statements and the forensic reports, there doesn't seem to be any doubt that Lord Oakwell was driving the car.
Yeah. And he left my daughter to die.
Hanging's too good for him.
So has he actually admitted to all of this then?
We haven't been able to trace Lord Oakwell yet.
Are you telling me you actually let him get away?
Warrants have been issued. It's only a matter of time before we find him.
It had better be. You never knew my Linda, did you?
No, sir.
She was a lovely girl. Her and Bifford had the troubles, but they got over them. They've got a real future ahead of them.
But he's taken that away. He's going to have to pay for that. They all will.
Are you suggesting someone else was involved?
You've seen them. You know what they're like. They think they can get away with anything. Well, this time it's going to be different.
We're doing everything we can, sir.
I'd like to go home now. I'd rather we didn't meet up again.
You seem to be forgetting about the stud farm.
You're not serious about us working together after this?
My family has been subsidising Alex for a very long time. He's never really had a penny of his own, so I'm entitled to look after our investment.
How about I buy your share?
I'm afraid the price would have to go up quite a bit to cover all the trouble it's caused.
You really are a vindictive cow, aren't you?
Takes one to know one, Kim. But now you've kissed one partner goodbye, you might as well get used to a new one.
That's not the way, Dad.
It's what they deserve, Roy.
It'll just bring us more trouble.
Look, just leave it to the police.
You heard him. They can't trace Lord Oakwell.
Aye, or maybe they haven't been asking the right questions.
Well, the right people. I say we go up to Oakwell Hall now, see what we can get out of him.
Get down with you, Biff, lad. And we're not taking no for an answer.
Maybe, but you're not taking that shotgun.
Look, Mum's right. You say you want answers. You're not going to get them if you're behind bars, are you?
Which is just what'll happen if you start waving this thing round Oakwell Hall.
OK. But you're not going to stop us going up there.
I wouldn't try. She's my daughter as much as yours. I want that killer found.
Come on, Ned.
I told Jack and Sarah that you'd gone shopping, but they won't believe me.
We were worried about them being left alone.
Like you said, I went shopping. They seemed a bit down after hearing about Linda, so I thought they needed some cheering up. That's all right, isn't it?
Oh, it was just a misunderstanding.
Robert can come again, can't he?
Yeah, we best get home now. Come on. Having someone to watch over him would do him a lot more good than sweets.
I'll bear that in mind. Thanks, son.
It's Mr. Fowler and Mr. Glover, isn't it?
You know who we are.
And you know why we're here?
I was most distressed to hear about your wife's death. I've been meaning to send my condolences, but I've been very busy.
Where is he?
If you mean my husband, he's away on business and we're not expecting him back for quite some time.
You mean you're hiding him somewhere, eh?
I'm not used to people doubting my word, Mr. Glover. But I realise you've been upset, so I'll make allowances. But I must repeat, my husband is not here.
And supposing we don't believe you? I'll go until we found him. So you better not get in his way.
I don't take orders in my own house, Mr. Fowler. And my staff are quite able to deal with troublemakers.
Well, bring him out then. See if they want to go.
That won't be necessary. You're welcome to look around.
Go on.
Good. We will do.
You'll be wasting your time, of course. The police have already looked. Go with them, Benson. Make sure they don't do any damage.
Hi! How did the medical go?
Well, I should have expected it, really. He was rather concerned about a man in my condition taking on something like this.
Why, he doesn't think he should do it.
No, but I made it clear to him right from the start that nothing was going to stop me. I'm as determined to get out there as you are.
But if his report says you're not fit to travel...
Well, I persuaded him not to go that far. I said that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and that I was determined not to let you down.
And he agreed? Oh, great.
Yeah, except I could slow you up. You know, being too old and overweight and unfit. I mean, I would understand if you decided to leave me behind.
Nonsense. There's nothing standing in our way now. Ooh.
I told you wouldn't find him.
Well, I might have known I'd have found you here.
I want Alex caught as much as you do. I'm really sorry about what happened to Linda.
Don't give us that. I lost a son because of you. You don't care about anyone but yourself.
You're all in this together. Killing her, then try to cover it up.
I had nothing to do with it. You've got to believe that.
But you won't get away with it.
That's enough. I've been very lenient with the pair of you, but if you don't go now, I shall have to call the police.
Oh, we'll be back. And we're going to keep coming back. Until you and the rest of your friends have suffered as much as what we have. There's no place that you can hide. Because wherever you go, I'll find you.